My name is Lisa Christian of the Lisa Christian Atelier brand. Today we'll be looking at measurements. I'm trying to do a recap. If you look at my Instagram sessions, I've done this before, but I'm just trying to do a recap again. You can't make beautiful pieces without accurate body measurements. So measurement is of key importance when sewing. If you look at this body form, you'll find out that I tied something on the waist. It's called bias. And how did I get this particular point where I tie this? If you have a client, you ask your client to tilt to the left and to tilt to the right. At that point where the side of the tummy or the stomach drifts in and the other way around, I usually place my bias, I tie my bias at that point, like, and I assume that is the waist of my client. So having gotten the fact that this is the waist, I measure the waist. I measure the waistline, the circumference around the stomach. I also measure the circumference around the bust. I measure the circumference around the bust. You leave a little allowance so that it can drift a little. That's the measurement for the bust. Under the bust, my tape under the bust here at this point is called the under bust. You get that measurement as well. My tape round about the hip, you allow it tilt a little, is called the hip measurement. The hip measurement, we also, in the hip measurement, we divide it into two. We have the back arc. The back arc is from this point of the hip to this point of the hip. That's the back arc. You take your hip measurement, divide your hip measurement minus your back arc. Whatever is left becomes the front arc of the hip. The same thing is applicable to the bust measurement. This is the front arc of the bust, right from this point where you begin to get the fullness of the bust. So this other point where you get the fullness of the bust, where the bust is just beginning from, we'll call it the front arc of the bust. When you're done with that, you subtract the bust measurement from the front arc. That gives you the back arc for the bust. Another important measurement that we're going to also look at is the nipple point. Beginning from the shoulder point here to this protrusion, the highest point of the bust elevation is called the nipple point. We take that, then we take from one nipple point to the other. We call it the nipple difference. Some people also take from this nipple point to under this bust arc. We call that the bust radius. But you can take the difference, the nipple difference divided by 2 will give you this bust radius as well. Another measurement that is of utmost importance is the bust cut. That is from the beginning of the shoulder to the underneath the bust where the bust ends. It's called the bust cut. So you take that measurement as well. We also take the neck circumference. If you're going to be making some things where you have to make collar, we need the neck circumference. We need the neck to shoulder measurement as well. This to this. That's that. Then we take from the shoulder as well to the waistline. This is called the full front length. It's usually necessary for dresses that have joining, where the top part is separated from the down part. So something like this is called the full front length. You'll be needing that measurement as well. We have the front shoulder beginning from this shoulder bone to this bone. That's the front shoulder. We have round shoulder. Round shoulder goes round from behind to the front, and it just hangs on the shoulder blade. That's called the round shoulder. Then we have the across chest. Across chest is the upper part of the upper part above the bust from one arm's eye. Look at it from one arm's eye to the other arm's eye. That's the across chest. We have the front shoulder from this shoulder bone to the shoulder bone. We have the back shoulder. This is how you take the back shoulder from this shoulder point. You don't take it this way. You take it this way. There's usually a bone here at the back of the neck and it goes this way. So this is the back shoulder. We have the across back. What you did for the across chest from this point just under the arm's eye to this upper back. That's the across chest. The same way we got shoulder to the waistline as our full front length. We also have shoulder. We also have from this neckline, that bone on the neckline behind, to this point. This point where your waist, your back arc goes in, where the back depth goes in. At that point, at that curve, we call it the nape to waist. You need that measurement as well. Then other measurements will also be needing is this is the side of the waist. So here is the knee. So the ankle is sideways to ankle, and to the floor is sideways to the floor. You need those three measurements. The next thing we'll also do is take from the center back to the floor. You need that measurement, the center back to floor. Then we have front waist to floor will also be taken. So next important thing to be taken is the thigh measurement. This is how you take your thigh measurement. You also take your single knee measurement. When taking the single knee measurement, you ask your client to flex their knee this way. If you just take it without them flexing their knee, when you make trousers for them, they wouldn't be able to flex their knee. Then you take the both knee circumference, that is the double knee circumference is also important. And for the feet, the last place you take is the ankle. When taking the ankle, you take it this way, and you try to make it past beneath the foot. You try to make sure it flexes beneath the foot so that when one wants to put on trousers, you'll be able to pass through. And some other measurements that we are not able to take on this body form because it's armless is the sleeve length. Sleeve length begins from this shoulder to here. This could be short sleeve, this could be 3/4, and this could be full sleeve. And after that, we also take the wrists as well. This wrist is for fitted outfits like what I'm wearing. Then I like to take this for blazer. This is the wrist for your blazer. And if you want to take the elbow, this point, you ask your clients to flex their elbow. Flex their elbow. You look at it, if you just place it like this, you'll be tight. But if you ask the client to do this, there's allowance. Or you could as well do this and you pass the tape round. Some people have what we call Christian mother arms, such that all the arms are not, one is bigger than one. What we do in such cases, we look out for the biggest or largest proportion and we take that. That's the bicep. Then the last measurement to be taken is around your armhole. You can call that the arm. So that's all for body measurements. If you have any questions, kindly drop them in the comment section.